When you log into Skyward as a teacher, you're going to land on your Educator Access Plus or EA Plus homepage. From here you can get to any area that you need to, so your grade book, a list of your students, a list of all your classes, your lesson scheduler, a direct link right to go take attendance, your homeroom if your school uses those, and some tutorials. There's also just some general navigation tips I want to give you real quick on Skyward. Up at the top you'll see your name listed when you've logged in. There's a little link for your account information. There's an ability to change your password here should you need to do that. There are some preferences. I'm not going to go too deep into these. In this video, it's just a general overview, just a good idea to know that they're there. And some trainers will take the time to set you up and give you the time to go through and set these preferences and explain each one of those. It's a good idea when you're logging out and you want to be done working in Skyward that you actually use the exit button from the home page. If you go ahead and close the window, it's just like closing a window in an internet browser. That is exactly what it is, and you're not necessarily logging out. So it's a good idea to do that. The question mark also has some valuable resources for you, namely the Skyward documentation. This will take you to tutorials and step-by-step printouts and screenshots of the various areas within the gradebook or anywhere else in EA Plus that you have access to be able to take you through the steps of how to complete certain tasks within here. You probably won't see all of these options here, but the Skyward documentation is one you want to look for. So I'll just briefly show you each link, and then in other videos I'm going to go into a little more detail about each area. So the gradebook, I click on the link to my gradebook, and you'll see here that if you are a teacher that teaches in multiple buildings, that's what this entity word means. So all these different buildings, and when you have your real data, each of your building names will be displayed here instead of just the building number. So you'll see if you teach in Smith Elementary, it will say Smith Elementary, and then the 400, the actual building number, will be in parentheses here, and it lists the grades. So this teacher obviously teaches in many different buildings, and of course has classes and then a grade book for each and every class within those different buildings. For many of you, this screen will just show the one building that you teach in, and so you'll only have a list of however many classes that you're scheduled to teach in there. To get back to my main list where I jumped from here, I'm always going to click the home button. The back button will actually go back to the last page that you landed on. It does not function quite the same as a back arrow in a web browser. Just keep that in mind. For now, just keep going back to home until you get used to how to navigate the system. The My Students link gives you one big giant list of all your different students. So if that's something that is useful to you, you might need that even if you teach in different entities and those kinds of things. That's there for you. My Classes takes you to a list of all your classes just like the gradebook link did. And then you have some options under each one of those. My Lesson Scheduler is setting up lesson plans and things like that. We're not going to go into that today. Post Daily Attendance is a quick way from one screen to jump to your different classes, and you can take attendance by name, so just a list of students, by a seating chart, and you also have the option here to assign those seats in the seating chart. And notice you also have a checkbox that you can click that says only display classes that meet today, and it will keep that check mark. So each day that you come back into this area, it will only display the classes that you need to take attendance for that day. I'm not going to go into the homeroom area because you may or may not be using that. And the tutorials link, again, takes you to the same place that the question mark took you to, and that's what the Sky Doc is called. And it's just an area that holds on to all kinds of documentation, how-to handouts, things like that for you in case you get stuck on a certain task.